All right, friends, it's Tina back with a new video, man. Guess who again? It's Jason Blaha, our favorite lifting, gym, recruiting, lifting slave. Jason Blaha, yes, that's right. Strength and Fitness channel. All right, we're going to review this video by Jason Blaha. Jason Blaha says how cavemen ate is not a valid argument for how we should eat. Yes, it is. I can prove it is.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I thought I would sit down and do another video for you guys and gals. Let's sip my water first. Yes, that's electrolytes in my water. Get my beautiful radio voice going and let's talk about this. Alright, people need to quit saying silly stuff like, well, cavemen ate this way. They want to define cavemen, whatever species you want to call it, because it's different for every one of them. So therefore, that's how we should be eating. That's how nature intended. First of all, we need...
No. Nature intended you to eat everything raw, the way it was meant to be eaten. What we're doing today is artificial. Look, cooking is artificial. It's kind of obvious. Pots and pans and all these plates and everything, they're artificial. We never had those. They cannot be found in nature. They're created by man. Cooking is created by man. The reason why we keep cooking and developing new foods and everything is because of nutrient deficiencies. So we keep trying to make new foods because of that. Well, mostly it's marketing. I would say it's marketing, but people will tell you, well, it's possibly a nutrient deficiency because we're nutrient deficient. But what's causing the nutrient deficiency? See that? It's the cooking. The cooking and adding these artificial foods, these man-made foods and other things that people are doing. That's what's causing the deficiency. That's why we're so deficient. Yeah. It's kind of obvious. This isn't, it's kind of, look, it doesn't take a genius to figure that one out. It's artificial.
To be clear, half the time the people saying that literally have no clue what early humans ate. They also...
No, you have a clue what humans ate. They didn't cook. There were no pots and there were no pans. There were no knives and forks and plates. They didn't have recipe books making weird cakes and stuff. They didn't engineer fruits and vegetables. Okay, and they didn't process food either in the past. So what did they eat, Blaha? What did they eat? Let's see. Let me think. What's out in nature? What would humans eat? Oh, wild animals, right. And you killed them, right? You were out in nature and you killed them. Okay. What did you do with them then after you killed them? You ate them. How did you eat them? Raw. That's how. Duh.
Have no clue how our gene flow has changed. They also reference other species all the time that weren't even what we think of as humans, who were even capable of speech.
What species? Before humans ever lived in cities and these crazy villages and whatever, what were they doing? Even as nomadic tribes roaming around, what were they doing? Eating raw animals, bro. That's why. We're all crazy because we're nutrient deficient, and so we're running around trying to eat as many things as we can to fulfill that need.
Or who lived to be 50 years old, right? Those old ages, they all died before that.
Bro, society is so sick at this point. They're so infertile. The deaths are going up like crazy. People are dying. People are diseased, riddled with diseases. They're sick constantly. They have so many diseases. It's ridiculous. Viruses, diseases. It's crazy, man. Well, the way society's going.
So if that is what you're referencing, first of all, it's ridiculous. Number two, that's called appeal to nature. That's a fallacy. Because something...
See, guys, according to Blaha, that's a fallacy because we magically had pots and pans and things to cook. Yeah, they fell from the sky.
Occurs in nature this way, it must be better or healthier. That
anything in nature is better. Everything you do according to nature is better because nature has laws, Blaha. It's called the law of nature. Ever heard of it? Yeah, you have your stupid man's laws. They're ridiculous laws. But then you have the laws of nature, and when you break them, you pay the price heavily. You pay a heavy price. A heavy
It's a
toll.
fallacy. It's considered a logical fallacy. If you're in an argument
okay.
and you say that, like in an academic debate, like in a philosophy classes or something, you're going
Brother, I could win any argument right away against any vegan, any person cooking, or whatever the hell they're doing. I go, the first thing I would say, can you find that in nature? No. And if you can't find it, then it doesn't exist. It's man-made. And anything man-made is artificial. It's fake. Just like fake steroids, fake bodybuilding, fake bodies. Get it? It can't be found in nature. It's artificial. It's man-made. It's man, I would say, man manipulated. Man can't create something from nothing. He can only manipulate his environment.
to lose the debate. You can't use logical fallacies.
Yeah, I just did use a lot. It's not a fallacy. I just used logic. And guess what? Yeah, I won the debate already in the beginning. You lost.
Okay, that is on par with just saying the equivalent of the person you're debating with, you're ugly, therefore you're wrong. You have a funny looking nose, therefore you're scientifically incorrect.
Well, you are ugly, Blaha, but that has nothing to do with this discussion.
It's at that level. So these people understand that. It's not actually reality.
God damn, you're ugly, Blaha. You have the worst genetics I've ever seen. I don't know any woman that would ever want to go with you, be attracted to you. That's why you're alone. They have no interest to be with somebody like you because you have poor genetics. You're ugly.
Other thing to think about with those factors, and I'll go into
I guess the women won the debate. They didn't want to go with this ugly dude.
the silliness of how people don't even get it right as far as what any of these groups say. The problem is these groups didn't even
Yeah, what's the problem, Blaha?
live that long. So if you're talking about the diseases that kill us in the modern age, you are aware those people didn't live long enough.
How do you know they didn't live long enough? I don't know anything. Can you go back in the past? You got a video camera? Why don't you go back there and find out?
For those diseases to accumulate, right? They're like, do you really think early man was as worried about atherosclerosis killing them at 55? Like, do you think this is a real concern? And if they were so healthy, why did they die so young? But that's the other.
You got proof of that they died so young? Do you have proof of that?
People say, well, modern medicine, therefore we live longer. Yeah, so we live long enough that we have to actually think about.
Ever since they came up with the slave diet over 4,000 years ago, even in Egypt, they started eating bread. It's a known fact. All diseases stemmed from them eating bread. They got all these diseases. It doesn't say anything past 4,000 years when they ate a natural diet.
Damage these things cause to our bodies. They didn't, number one. But let's talk about those groups. People get it wrong, and it's hilarious.
He's lying. They did cause damage. What they were doing, eating a slave diet. Eating slave food does this. Look, Blaha, the reason why you're suffering from sarcopenia and autoimmune diseases and skin diseases is because you're eating an unnatural diet. You are eating something unnatural, which is fucking poisonous, dude. That's why you can actually reverse. you could age in reverse, but your problem is you don't know how to. Meat is anti-aging. It's not deficient in any nutrients, and it doesn't have sugar or any toxins in it like your tofu and your spaghetti, your man-made foods and things that you're eating. They're hot dogs and your mustard and whatever else. That's the reason. Look, you could be lifting a heavy weight. Here's the thing. You could still be lifting heavy weights, Blaha, but you could be suffering from osteopenia. Get it? Osteoporosis. You could be suffering from osteoporosis. I'm not joking, man. You could be losing bone mineral density even though you are lifting a heavy weight because you have a nutrient deficiency. And so if you have nutrient deficiency, your body scavenges it scavenges the whole body to look for nutrients and allocate them in different areas to keep the body alive to the point where it can no longer keep it alive and it just collapses. Get it? It dies. Yeah.
Even though I will say that largely what I often recommend people should be eating actually more closely matches Paleolithic human. But they weren't heavy meat eaters to the degree that people.
Can't be Paleolithic, the diet, this diet that you keep talking about, because they didn't have engineered fruits and vegetables and stuff, okay, out there. They didn't eat those kind of foods, bro. Or nuts and seeds. I doubt anybody out there ate nuts and seeds. Fuck it, bro. Are you crazy? And smash these seeds and try to eat more seeds and make it into flour and whatever else.
Think they were. They ate whatever they could find. People
No,
were
they didn't. Somebody would. Here's the thing: if you're starving and you eat bark off a tree, you could eat bark as a human off a tree. Does that mean it's healthy for you? No. It means because you were starving. They found rocks inside bellies of dinosaurs. Does that mean it was healthy for them to eat rocks? Fucking no, bro. They were starving. They maybe they're where they were at the time. There were no animals. They were starving, so they ate anything.
prefer, well, early humans were super carnivores. Like it's been documented right over here. Even these Israeli archaeologists did a whole big write-up on it and showed all the data.
Man, this guy's the most artificial person in the world. If you're running out way back then in the past, couple thousand years ago, and you were running around out there through forests and whatever, they're just animals running out there and a bunch of forests. You think you're going to stop to eat blades of grass? Are you a cow? No.
They did, except it wasn't Homo sapien, it wasn't humans. Like, if you were to see the species they were talking about, the species is called Homo erectus. That is who they were referencing. Yes, Homo erectus were super carnivores. They ate everything in their path. They ate predominantly meat. They hunted entire areas to extinction around them to the point where it caused population bottlenecks. They ate every animal they could find. They also lived to be 30 years old. Okay? Hey, great, you want to live to the ripe old age of 30. I'm 47. I'm not.
If somebody lived to 30, it means they were starving, okay, dude? I don't know what the hell this guy's talking about. Fucking humans could live quite long. They can live quite long providing they have enough nutrients. They're not deficient. Or if you're starving or deficient in something, it's kind of obvious you're not going to live so long, are you?
I'm cool with that. All right, number one. Number two, they weren't even human. Like, if we were to put one of this species in front
Oh, they weren't human. Okay. But they had 5 fingers and arms, right? And legs. Okay.
of you right now, we as a world would not recognize them as human beings. We would not recognize them as human beings with human rights. Not to that degree. Like, their mental capacity would be low enough that they would have to be.
Man, this guy's so arrogant. He thinks that this environment that we live in the last, I don't know, 2,000 years or whatever in Europe or something, is the be all of end all. Even Egypt is a lot older than that. But regardless, and these some other civilizations, they're quite old. So humans have been around for, us so-called humans have been around for quite a long time. But he's going to equate it to other people. Man, I remember Mongols, they were talking to people in the Middle East. They were eating like bread and, they said to them, what are you eating there, sand? Because they ate meat. The more northern population still ate meat. They ate a lot of meat. There's these other countries that had the slave diets. They started eating more slave diets. Maybe they found it convenient. I don't know, man. Who the hell knows?
Pretty much be kept somewhere. Pretty much probably confined, maybe treated well, but confined. Because they were not functioning at the level.
Maybe they were lazy. They were lazy. They weren't into farming animals or farming or doing anything. Okay, they just ate wild animals that were out there. Okay, they roamed the plains, dude.
That we have, like people we have with special needs who have mental special needs and lower intellects, they are not at their level. They were below that. Okay. So
here's the funny thing. All these vegans, when they go off their diets, they all turn into carnivores. I never heard of any carnivores turning into vegans. It's all them becoming carnivore. Why is that? Because that's your natural diet. Think about it. Why do we still eat meat? Why do we still eat meat? Why do they produce meat? What would happen if you stopped eating meat altogether? You'd be part of that vegan compilation where your hair is falling out, your nails, you're infertile, and you're all fucked up. You understand me? If you were to stop eating meat, you're going to become so fucked up, it's crazy. You're going to be suffering from sarcopenia. Sarcopenia.
Keep that in
Like Blaha.
mind. You're not talking about what you were, and they were not capable of speech either. They couldn't even talk. The centers of their brain involving language.
Okay, how many thousands of years ago are we going back in time, Blaha? Is this 3, 4, 5, 6, 10,000? Okay, when did we appear? Then you say that humans weren't around. Okay, so in what era did we appear? And then what were we eating when we did appear, Blaha? See what I mean? How the fuck would he know?
Were not developed enough to speak.
I could tell you what we were eating. We were eating raw animals. That's what we were eating. We didn't have pots and pans, okay? We didn't cook.
So there's your context. This is a completely different species you're talking about. All right, the other thing to think about, when we have looked at Paleolithic man, what do we find? When we really get in there, we're finding that what paleo-humans, which were our species.
Again, it's known in science, we tolerate eating fruits and vegetables. We tolerate it. But that's not our food, and that's why we're suffering. That's why people are suffering, Blaha.
He's Homo sapien, but we're talking 50,000, 100,000 years ago. The remains that we're finding show they were probably closer to about.
Okay, so he says 50,000 to 100,000 years ago. What do you think people were eating 50,000 to 100,000 years ago, us Homo sapiens? What do you think we were eating?
80% plant-based, about 20% animal-based diet.
We were 80% plant-based and 20% animal-based. And where did we get these plants, Blaha? Where did we get these plants? Where?
They ate plenty of carbohydrates. Based diet. They ate plenty of carbohydrates.
They ate plenty of carbohydrates, and where did they get these carbohydrates? You know the potato, when it was brought to the New World, you know where they got potatoes from? They were discovered in Peru. That's where they brought it from. The Spanish brought it, they discovered it in Peru and brought it over. What were Europeans eating before they ate potatoes? Because that's a new find, Blaha. Get it? You say carbohydrates. Okay, what about rice? Where's that from? Does that grow in cold climates too?
Lots of vegetables, fruits, lots of tubers, root vegetables.
Lots of fruit. Oh, I love this one. Lots of fruits and lots of vegetables. We didn't farm 50,000, 100,000 years ago. We weren't farming. Farming is a new thing. We weren't farming, bro. It's a known fact humans were not farming.
Were always massive staples in their calories.
We weren't farming. We weren't engineering fruits and vegetables back then. So what were we eating, Blaha? And we didn't cook. We didn't have pots and pans. So what did we do, Blaha?
So what we would think of today would be stuff like potatoes, carrots, radishes,
Potatoes, carrots, and radishes. Again, potatoes come from Peru. We never had potatoes until about the last 500 years. So what is Blaha talking about? This is what I try to tell you. Blaha's the stupidest fitness influencer out there in the world. He's so dumb.
Fruits were always a major part. They ate a lot of bugs, and I'm not telling you to eat bugs.
Oh, they ate a lot of bugs, and fruits were a big thing of their their diet. Okay, where'd they get these fruits from? Where'd they get them from?
I don't want to eat bugs. I don't particularly like them.
Most of the northern countries in the world are cold countries. Where'd they get these fruits from, dude? They're farmed today. This guy's dumb.
I have a cricket burger myself. But they ate oftentimes more bugs than they did you're thinking of as animal flesh. And they did eat meat as they could find it. A lot.
How the fuck would he know that they ate bugs? Why the fuck would they eat bugs unless they were starving or something, dude? I don't know. This guy's really crazy. Okay, whatever.
Along the coastlines were fish heavy. If they were in other areas, of course, they ate meat and hunted. But
look, dude, people lived beside streams and lakes, okay? Because you need water. You got to drink water. You got to survive. Plus, fish. There's fish there. They went fishing and they ate fish, okay? That was a lot more convenient for them than animals, because animals would migrate. That's the problem with animals. They migrate. And so if they leave one area, they go to another area. So that why do you think people were nomadic back then? Because they had to follow the herd, duh. Because they wanted to eat animals. They don't want to starve.
Plants were still the largest staple. They had extremely high fiber diets. So if you want to emulate how they ate, you're not
They had extremely high fiber diets. Do you have any proof of this? Christ.
eating 50 to 100 grams of fiber every single day or more. Every day.
No, they weren't. They're not herbivores. They're not bent down on their knees eating grass all day, dude. What are you talking about?
You're not eating anything like they ate, so why are you talking about them? All right, the other factor, but just because they ate that way doesn't mean that it is ideal today.
You mean that because they ate wild animals and wild fish and animals and fish and shit out there, that's not ideal today to eat that way? Sure it is. We haven't evolved to that point. We're not cows. We don't have a 4-stage stomach. We can't process grass, dude. It's a known fact. It'll tell you on Google and Science that humans cannot digest cellulose. And the toxins in plants, they're harmful to humans. It's kind of obvious. The oxalates and shit, whatever else, the lectins.
Technology has changed, needs have changed, gene flow has changed. Us living in an agricultural era.
Even we produce ketones. We don't need sugar. We produce ketones just enough. It's a specific amount of ketones that we produce to keep our brains and our bodies healthy. Our body produces it for us. We don't need that stuff. But when you start eating sugar, that's when the trouble starts.
For thousands of years, guess what? Has changed our gene flow in terms of digestive enzymes, different enzymes in our bloodstream for dealing with different foods. Okay? Those things have changed even since then. Our genes have changed. It's affected our gene flow in such a way that now we as a species collectively have certain enzymes across the board, almost irrespective of your ethnic background, are higher in a lot of enzymes than those people.
They don't. We don't. It's a lie. We don't. It's a fallacy. It's bullshit. We don't. We don't have any enzymes.
People had even back then. So you do need a context for that. Also, as things advance, we find that just because they ate that way doesn't mean that it's going to give you the best health.
The reason why people's stomach hurts when they eat dairy, it's because dairy has been pasteurized. It's not natural. Get it? It's not. You're not eating raw stuff, raw animal food. That's the problem.
The best longevity, the best athletic performance, the best body composition, whatever it is that you're in pursuit of. Because
they don't need to be in pursuit of that. They just inject plant toxins in them. These molecules called steroids made by plants, plant genetics, and that will give you all of that. Isn't that what everybody's doing these days, Blaha, like you?
Again, back to the appeals of nature. Just because it occurred that way doesn't mean that it's always ideal. Now, we could argue it looked pretty decent.
I can tell you, ever since I've gone back to my natural diet, I'm actually getting so much better. My skin, everything is getting better, tighter, stronger, better. My bones are stronger. Everything, my lifts are coming back again. My strength is coming back. Everything, my muscle looks much better. I just look much better than eating plants and fruits, bro. So, and I don't even eat processed food. Here's the thing. I'm not talking about processed food. I'm not one to eat processed food. I'm just talking about fruits and vegetables in general. I incorporated them in what I eat, my animal diet. But I eat just animals now. That's it. I just eat animals. Because why do you need fruits and vegetables? Why do you need any of these things? You don't need them. It's marketing. But like I said, people, they'll eat anything. They'll put anything in their mouth. They're like children. You understand me? They're like little kids, man. And so they'll stick anything in there. It's crazy. But yeah, if you want to be healthy, you have to eat your natural diet, which you would eat in nature. That's all.
Eating patterns similar to how the paleo man ate usually does okay. People tend to be pretty healthy on that. Like, no argument there. But you still can't say, oh, it's absolutely ideal. Because we start looking at the way that certain cultures eat, and it is a little bit different. The ones who live the longest, the ones who have the, certain health markers. It's different. Okay? So again,
how is it different?
This is an absurd argument that the way that cavemen, however you choose to define that, whatever species you're defining that as, how they ate is your template. That is a logical fallacy, and it's not based upon the available evidence.
No, all you have to do is experiment. That's what I did. On my old channel, I experimented because I've never done it before. So I wanted to experiment to see what these things would do to me and if they would make me better or worse. They made me worse. So I went back on a pure meat diet this time. Pure. 'Cause I've never been exactly pure because I ate vegetables in the past, but mostly ate meat all my life. But when I went pure, when I've gone pure animal-based food, I'm becoming so much better. And I'm eating most of it, I'm trying to eat most of it raw. I'm trying to wing off the whole cooking thing. So yeah, I've been trying to eat it as raw as possible. And I noticed that the more raw I eat the food, the better I become. If I cook it, then I start to regress a bit. But when I eat it raw, I'm not as hungry, and I'm looking better all the time when I eat it raw. So yeah, that's what I've noticed. Okay.
All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.
It's been extremely uninformative. The problem with Blaha, he loves to suffer. He loves, and he wants you to suffer too with him. Here's the thing. Blaha is suffering, okay? He's a loser. He's losing. He's lost in his fitness background is lost, and his eating background is lost. So he wants you to eat the same food and do the same, become a gym lifting slave like him, so that you too could be a failure like Blaha. That's what he wants. He's a failure. And so he wants all of you to fail with him. That's the truth. Really, that's the bottom line. Why is that? Because he's jealous. He's jealous of everybody. So everybody must be on steroids. See what I mean? That's why he says that. He'll try to convince you that everybody, even natural people, that they don't have good genetics, they must be on steroids. Everybody has to be on steroids, even to lift a heavy weight. Because he's jealous of everybody out there, because he can't do it himself. He's so unnatural. He eats unnatural food, and he injects unnatural plant genetics in him to lift a heavy weight. I'll see you in the next one. Tell what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, friends. Blaha, more natural than the last time.